Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, Amy McVay-Tellez back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Good deal. Everything going well at the museum this morning?
Everything's rocking and rolling.
Good. Roof's still working.
We have a couple of things going on over there. We're good.
Good deal.
Okay.
But for folks that aren't aware, you're trying hard not to be aware at this point. But if you're not aware, the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico would love to invite everyone out for our next dinner event. Mm-hmm. It will be happening here August 25th, a couple weeks away.
Right
Reminder for everybody, school, everything. It's all coming
right around
up
the
real
corner.
quick. Yeah,
it's coming.
We're about to get busy again. The summer lounging is about to go the way of the dodo.
That's right.
But August 25th, we're having a drive-through fundraising event. So it's still minimal effort on your part. But we want to honor our past Heritage Dinner recipients, and we want to do it with this dinner and everything, and we'll have an awesome booklet and all. We'll talk more about that stuff. But but really, it is a fundraiser for us in that facility and paying for the maintenance and upkeep of that, along with continuing our programs and doing things, our fourth grade tours and Sunday fun days and things like that. This all helps keep those going. But we're going to have another, just like we did in these past dinners. Peppers has partnered with us once again to provide delicious meals for us. For $100, you get a box that feeds 2. And then we also have our dinner bundle for $500, which feeds 10. It's 5 boxes, a meal for 2 in each box. And of course, we step up our game a little bit with our box or our table box portion. The basically, we give you a nice centerpiece. We give you some free swag, delivery. We'll deliver the meals to where you want. And here's the cool part: even if all 5 boxes aren't going to the same place, we'll still deliver it.
You better believe it.
Say if you say you're a business or you're a nonprofit that wants to pay it forward to some of your employees or some of your volunteers, we can say, all right, well, now we can only break it up into 2. They come in pairs. They're like your shoes. They come in pairs.
That's right.
So we can deliver a box to anywhere. We could take 5 boxes to 5 different places.
I have a dinner bundle, and one dinner bundle. 5 boxes are going to 5 different locations, and that's fine.
Yeah.
We love that.
We can absolutely do that for you.
Or I just had somebody call just the other day saying, I really only need 3 or 4, but they went ahead and purchased the bundle. They're getting their 4 for what they need, and then we're paying forward one.
Oh, we're going to give one. That's very nice. And if that's the work where maybe you only need 2 or 3, but you're like, no, I really want to help out, I'll do the dinner bundle, and then give 2 to somebody else or something.
And then I also just got a check in the mail the other day for $50. I'm waiting for another $50. We'll put that together, match it, and pay it forward.
There you go.
I think that's what it's all about. Somebody asked me the other day, and I think it's important for us to explain something. We've explained it, but I think it's important we need to say it again. So the board of directors really wanted to do something special to honor all past recipients. We love, just like with anniversaries, I think all the men out there need to step it up when it's like 10, 25, 30, 40. Okay, we need to step it up.
Is that a hint to Ralph? Just say it was a subliminal hint.
We've only been married a couple of years, been together a long time. Hi, Ralph. If you're listening, we're dog ears. No, I'm just kidding.
Just saying, Ralph, be listening, because there's some hints there. Just say it.
But I think let's affirm this. For 40 years of celebrating amazingness that has impacted history, our board was very, very intentional to say, listen, how can we do this effectively, and what is our vision?
Sure.
So somebody just the other day asked, what is this vision? Why are you doing a drive-through? Well, our vision was to encourage all these people, and it may take a minute, but Mike, if you don't care, I want to say every name.
Yeah.
Because people say, what is that all about? Who was on? Well, we're going to say them. If you didn't hear it, listen online, and we'll rewind them. But our vision is for people that have connections with these people I'm fixing to read, and there's a lot of them, everyone's significant. We wanted to encourage their significant others, peers, to get together in their own way and have their own wonderful celebration.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's our intention, and we encourage people. If you want to do a backyard party or you want to do your own event, It's celebrate with your special peoples. Have your special moment.
Or maybe you're close friends with one of the past recipients. Say, hey, you want to invite you over and we'll buy a meal and have some fun.
So you say, Amy, are you really going to name all these names? Yes, I'm going to say all these names. So starting in 1981.
Yeah, say 40 years ago. We're celebrating 40 years of Heritage Dinner.
1981, Robert O. Anderson.
Okay.
Next was R. Rogers Aston. And then the next, we had quite a few. It's E.W. Lander, I.J. Marshall, Mr. Marshall, and then Joey Williams. We had Clarence Hinkle then and Truman Sanders. The next year, 1985, J.P. White Jr., very significant to Historical Society.
I heard that name.
1986 was Lieutenant General Richard Knowles, and then Lieutenant General James Riceley. Then next year we had Minor Huffman. Next year, Henriette Wyeth Heard. Heard that?
Cool. That's a name I heard a time or two.
1989, John Russell. Then in 1990, very significant celebration was Chaves County Public Schools.
Nice.
New Mexico Military Institute, ENMU-R Roswell. Wow. 1991 was Lieutenant Colonel L.T. Godfrey. And
some people might know that name around too, yeah.
1992, Harvey Yates, Martin Yates, S.P. Yates, John A. Yates. Next year was Hal Green Bogle. 1994, impacting history so significantly, Morgan Nelson. God rest his soul. Wow, he certainly did a lot to help the Historical Society, as did so many. 1995 was T.J. Deason. Next year, 1996, Police Chiefs Tommy Thompson and L.M. Hall. Then in 1998, very significant to the Historical Society, still supporting today, was John P. Gill family, Roswell Seed. 1999 was Robert P. Beck family, the Roswell Daily Record. Christina Stock told me she moved to Roswell that year and was so excited to know that they were celebrating the Roswell Daily Record, which came to Roswell.
That's cool.
Next year we had Fred Henninghausen and the Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy. Yes,
There you go. Okay.
Say that 3 times while you're listening. Next year was Judge Richard Bean. Still misses. The family still supporting the Historical Society so significantly. 2002, Congressman Joe Skeen. 2003 is John and Betty King, KBIM Radio.
Cool.
2004, Dale and Kay Rogers, Roswell Farm and Livestock Supply. God rest her soul. Till the end, helping probably more than we deserve in every way possible. Next year was the Armstrong family, Bill Armstrong and Barb Armstrong. Next year, the Hobson family, Harold Hobson, yes, Little League World Series champion, Larry Hobson and Jerry Hobson, all so significant and still helping.
Well, Larry just retired from the Fair Board a couple years ago.
You better believe it, and that's historical in itself. All 3 of those names impacting history so significantly. Then I love next year was 2007, Ladies of Distinction. Dr. Judy Armstrong, Sally Anderson, and Judy Stubbs all continuing very significantly to support the Historical Society. Judy's just helping to get tourism going. Gotta
all 3 still involved in the community.
Oh, my goodness. And community and the Historical Society. 2008 was 3 Judges of Impact. Love that title. Judge Bobby Baldock, God rest the soul of Judge Alvin Jones, and then Judge Bill Snyder. 2009 was Sages of Southwest, Elvis Fleming and Arthur McQueedy. Next year was renewed Roswell Retailers, Don Bullock, Bob Tuning, and Charles Smith. Next year was Pecan Pioneers, Bill Bonham and Virgil Haley.
That's nuts. Just kidding. I had to do the pun. I need
the drums. That's so cool. 2012, Silent Servants. I love that. I'd love to be known as Silent Servant. Bobby Alcorn, Richard Kraft, and Ron Malone. Next year, in 2013, was a very significant year, honoring our current mayor, Senator Timothy Z. Jennings.
Nice.
2014, artists Dorothy Peterson and Kim Wiggins. Next year was the Gene Reichman family and the J. Kenneth Smith family. 2016, arguably my favorite celebration because we were the best in the world. How many times can we say we're the best in the world at something?
Yeah.
We were the 1956. We celebrated the anniversary of the 1956 Lions Hondo Little League World Series baseball team. Next year was Southwestern Public Service Company. 2018, the Merced and Francisca Gonzalez family. 2019, the dairy industry of Chaves County. Last but not least, during our unique times in celebration of COVID, I think we did a tremendous job in 2020 of celebrating the restaurants of Roswell, past and present. So I cannot think of anybody listening that has not been impacted in one way or another, as we arguably all have been,
Sure.
by probably every single one of these people.
Absolutely.
So
May
if
not
you
even realize it.
And some people want a list. And by the way, if you buy a ticket and get your goodie bag, there's going to be a list right in your commemorative booklet. But I think that's important because people say, well, I just moved to Roswell, and what do I have to do with any of this? Well, I bet you anything you have a lot of things to do with it if your kids are in the school district or whatever it is. And Jesus will come before we ever celebrate everybody that deserves to be celebrated. There's so many more. But I think, especially reflection, I think, Mike, we've talked about it with the board. It is time. I get so darn tired of this negativity and ranting and raving. Why don't we just take a moment, take a breath? Was at a funeral on Saturday, and they said he always just used to say, just breathe, take a breath. But why don't we do that and reflect how we've been impacted?
Well, and at the end of the day, our mission statement is preserving history.
You better believe it
and
is.
these people are our history.
Yes, every one of them.
And we want to preserve and celebrate that.
Yes.
That's what we're doing. And and this is and we live in a world where, where people are more amenable to do things than they are in other things. And so this is a way we're thinking, well, how can we honor these people, but at the same time keep our current mission of keeping the building going, keeping these things going. And so for us, this is a way to try to tie all that together, to give you and everyone else an opportunity to learn about people that shaped and molded Roswell and what you see today. And we want to celebrate that. But at the same time, we understand, especially here in August, where everyone's getting ready back for school, work. I mean, there's 50,000 things going on in August.
Things going on.
And the last thing most people want to do is get dressed up, go to a meal, sit down for a night of all that stuff.
How can we ever do all of these justice? How
it'd be a
can you
6
do
hour.
that?
It'd be a 6 hour dinner.
So I think one thing we've been intentional of, Mike, is partnering with the community to take a moment. This celebration, in our eyes, in the circles, could go on for a year. We could honestly take a moment to celebrate every single one of these, including if you said something like, I don't know some names you said. Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And something else, I think, Mike, you and I are part of numerous different organizations. We've been so cotton picking tired. We're not tired, but of pivoting to do more fundraising.
Sure.
That I think we do not need to lose sight of what you and I
What are we
here.
raising funds for?
What are we
Yeah.
raising funds for? And we are, it seems to me, like this choo-choo train of fundraising, which, don't get me wrong, every minute,
Yeah.
it's
Well, it's the
so
nature of the beast.
significant.
It just is.
But I'm going to tell you right now, we're doing more fundraising than we've ever done because our expenses are more than they ever have been with these unexpected last couple of years catastrophic items called capitalized projects. AKA renovation, AKA take good care of this house or it's not going to be around, AKA preserving history.
Well, and it's a different animal preserving that thing because how you would renovate your current house would not be the same as how we renovate that house.
Absolutely not. And we want to help in any way possible remind other people how important that is. That's part of history, is preserving our houses. And I want to encourage people that are investing in our historical homes, make sure you do it as we have in the past.
Yeah.
That's very significant. And we get calls. A lot of times we're going to have to communicate with the state. People don't realize we don't have all of our resources locally regarding all the specifics required. So sometimes it does take us reaching out with the New Mexico Department of Historic Preservation and those kinds of things in Santa Fe to do these things right.
Absolutely.
And make sure that our mark is there. When I say that, if there's a placard on the outside of your house, we need to affirm how historical you are and what your story is.
And that's just it, is people like to say, yeah, I have a historical home. It's a status symbol in some ways, but in reality, it's a responsibility
you
because
better believe it.
because now you're charged with preserving that history. If we're going to make it a historical landmark and they put the marker and it's in a district where that's what it's supposed to be, and then you come in and don't adhere to that and just kind of modernize the house or do, which I'm not saying modernize and like, yes, electricity and all that, but I'm talking make the house look no longer like a historical home, and now it looks like something out of the Jetsons.
If you're going to modify,
then you're not doing your responsibility to that facility.
And shout out to so many people that are really intentional in these efforts, and I can't wait to see the future of, for example, the Clary Sage home.
Yeah,
that's now going to be our wonderful hacienda of Roswell. That's amazing.
Yeah,
and we want to encourage others to do it, but we need your help. A trip down memory lane is making me a little crazy. We're almost at the deadline, and I was crazy
August
to begin
8th,
with.
Right?
I was crazy to begin with. It's August 8th. So I don't know what that makes me. I was already crazy. Now you're making me really crazy. So August the 8th, we have to have all responses.
Yes.
And don't delay. And that does mean we need this out of respect for Peppers. I know we've talked about this on the air before, but Peppers needs our support. We need to partner to have everything prepared and ready, because I'm going to tell you one thing. Peppers, thank you, Peppers, not only for your food, but for your support. Since I've been involved with the Historical Society, they have been diamond members of the Historical Society. What that means is, and I don't have a problem saying this on the radio. Somebody asked me just the other day, why is Peppers always doing your food? I want to encourage other restaurants listening to become members of the Historical Society.
Support us.
You better believe they do. They do. And other restaurants over the years have. We don't have as many paying members of the Historical Society. And we do support all restaurants. But Peppers has been supporting us. It's a mutual admiration and respect. I would love, in our next membership list, because our next newsletter comes out in November, I would love to have a row of restaurant members. And then, by goodness, we better be calling all of them. And it may make my job harder, but that's right. We would do that.
Absolutely.
It's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
And we could get 10 or 20 quotes. If everybody in Roswell partners together,
well,
we'll partner anyway. Maybe we could have different stations or something.
Maybe we multi-tier. It's like, you want to go to Peppers, great. You want to go to
Mike,
Restaurant B, great.
Those not mystery meals, progressive meals, when you'd go to one house and get the dessert, and one house goes, maybe we need a drive-through with 5 different restaurants.
Maybe
I'm all in.
A trick-or-treating fun
that would be really
dinner.
cool. That would be really cool. But
Peppers,
we've been partnering. We've been working on this since February, I think. So they're ready. They need everything back. So, ladies and gentlemen, whether it's $10, $100, we do need sponsors. I will continue to thank Xcel Energy, which was the original Southwestern Public Service Company, and Dairy Producers in New Mexico, both recipients of the Heritage Dinner Awards, and both stepping up and helping us in an additional corporate sponsorship way to get this done. We are fundraising to help, again, keep the lights on. It isn't to up my salary. You know as well as I do. That doesn't happen. And I don't do this for that reason. But it is to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
Somebody jokingly said, are you doing all these fundraisers to get a raise? And I was like, that's what, we don't expect raises. Y'all don't expect raises from your $0.
That's right.
But we do. Our raise would be impacting and doing more throughout the community and pulling it all together.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's not about money. It's about the success of the Historical Society. And we would love to see it at a point where it's a popular attraction, like it would be for Area 51 or someplace where you go to recreate. The Historical Society is one of those places where you come to bring your family and come see the museum, come maybe book an event at the archive facility and have a little picnic or a meeting or something like that. That's
any type of event.
We want it to be known as a place where folks can go and come have their meetings, have their opportunity to see what the history of this community is. Obviously, for our researchers and authors and those folks, our archive facility is usually that is the point one. We're pretty much, if any researcher or historian or anyone that's coming to do any kind of research on Southeast New Mexico or Roswell or anything like that, 9 times out of 10, their first stop is the Historical Society. Sometimes it's a chamber and then it's the Historical Society, but but it literally is there. We're there, the kind of the doormat for the historical world to come and see our community.
Well,
doormat is in welcome, not is in we get stepped on.
Well, and I think it's important. We're so darn busy, we lose sight. If you're part of numerous organizations, just like the Leadership Roswell organization, we're one of the biggest leadership organizations in New Mexico. Don't lose sight of that historical perspective of all these organizations, including the Eastern New Mexico State Fair that's fixing to celebrate a large celebration. How many times do we celebrate 100 years of anything?
Sure.
That's a miraculous celebration. That's part of our history, and our entire community should pull together, including us. We're all there. I went to the board and said, how can we help? And by the way, Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds, I haven't heard from you. So we're going to help. We're going to work together. We want to help. It's not just about us as a society.
Sure.
It is about the history, every bit of history, good, bad, ugly. And if we talk about something ugly, how can we make it better?
what like when you see like old flooding pictures and things of Roswell and stuff, and you're like, where'd that come from?
Yes.
It came from the historical side.
Well, and all of our
They're
Walker
preserved there.
Aviation, all historic.
Yeah, it's all preserved there.
Yes. So we are in the history business, yes, and we're honored to do that. I do think that's a privilege. I think it is a privilege to have all of our forefathers, the Morgan Nelsons and the Elvis Flemings, that spent half of their life, most of their lives, celebrating history, documenting history, doing what we can. But at the end of the day, it can pull us all together. You know, whatever side of the fence you're on, you talk a lot about the politics of this area. That's your job. Well, what I might tell you is you have a right to do that, but we also at the end of the day have a right to pull together.
Absolutely.
And get over ourselves in this one point that we're so adamant on when we agree on 10 other things. There's power in that. You and I know we could become the powerhouse, if you will, in New Mexico.
Well,
and I think we are in a lot of ways.
Well, and I think part of that, and I don't get real philosophical here, but we got to remember we're all on the same team.
We are.
At the end of the day, we're Americans. We all live.
are.
We call Roswell home. We all want the best for this community. I think every single one of us can agree on that. We may not agree on how to get there,
right.
but if we remember, we're doing this for the betterment of where we live and where we call home, and ideally, what we're hoping is when we're long and gone, the next generations of our families get to enjoy Roswell as much as we do.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for our schools. And God be with everybody. If you're listening with school starting, I know my husband is taking a sleeping bag, literally kind of thing. God be with our educators.
Yeah.
Man, if that's not historical. They're impacting, educating. Be with our locals, whether you're at Gateway starting a little bit later, whoever. We lift you up in our prayers. But whether I'm a Roswell, Higher Goddard, or whatever, that's all historical.
Yeah.
And we need to pull together and unify. And I really, really believe history can do that.
Well,
I really do.
And I'm going to throw a little gauntlet out.
Yep.
If there happens to be any of our past recipients that are listening,
yes,
I would love to get a chance to talk with you on the radio if you're amenable. I would love to hear it. And
yes.
our more recent recipients, I'd love to talk to you too, but I'm kind of digging for some of these 80s and 90s and early 2000 names on that list there that are still with us, that are still in the area and still that would like to talk. So I'm going to throw the gauntlet out. We're probably going to put some efforts to reach out to a few people, But if you're listening,
and we may not know how to reach out to a lot
and that's
of
the
them.
thing too. We may not be able. So
that's right.
So I'm kind of throwing the blanket thing on here on the radio. If you know one of these individuals or you yourself one of these people, we would love to have you to share your story on the radio with
Call
us
the
here.
museum at 622-8333. And I know one thing. Mike will make it happen as soon as possible.
Yeah,
because I would
absolutely.
love to fill up Mike's calendar with history.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to some of these.
And
because
I know Gene would too. Gene loves to listen to all the history and fun part.
And it's a little selfish for me. I'm not going to lie, because I called Roswell home beginning 2000. So my history is from 2000 on. I don't have a lot of history. I mean, I know of things, but as far as the people and some of that, I don't have a deep knowledge of that. So I would like to learn a little and like to meet some of the people that kind of, help shape Roswell to the way it is today. I'd like to do that.
We'd love to. So call.
for my
And
own
by the way, we've already had a call, so I need to schedule one. So we've got a call, and we'll get them on the radio. But inundate the phone at 622-8333 with past Heritage Dinner recipient honorees. Maybe you're a family member. Maybe your great-grandfather or something was honored. Tell your story, and we'd love to celebrate it because we want to encourage individuals to learn more about all these
Absolutely.
people. We love, and then the OMG, and give a shout out to those people the Roswell Livestocks of the world,
Yeah.
and even the Hobsons of the world through the fair or whatever it is. Make an intentional effort to stop by and just show appreciation for all they've done for our community, whether it is Roswell Seed, Roswell Livestock, and so many more. Even, like I said, whether it's the schools or whatever, let's just come together. I think that, and I would love to know that this event could have some power in bringing us all together and unifying and stop being persnickety and this and this and that. I just want, if anything, to know that this celebration can pull together some things and let us see the sunshine.
Yeah.
And I am worn out of the sunshine. I'm so but this is good sunshine.
Yes.
And
we don't want humidity with our
well,
sunshine.
and our grandkids, like my grandkid, may not know a lot of these names.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, I don't think they do.
And
as a matter of fact, one of the things my grandson and I are going to do, hello, Landon Cole, if you're listening, he wanted to physically see some of these things and where they represent. So some of the things, I would question how many of these things we could do literally a drive-by, if you will, to start some things. Probably not a lot of them. Some of them, yes. Or some of them we could make a connection, like the old KBIM radio kind of thing. Where did that originally start?
Yeah,
These fun
exactly.
things. So get these conversations started. I would love to know at restaurants and barbershops and stuff, it sparks these interests of what we call the good old days.
We
and
had a
all
lot of
these
fun with
things.
that when we did the restaurant heritage dinner.
Yes.
And we interviewed some people and we put together a video, but a lot of it was like, here we sit on the place where this restaurant stood, and now it's called home to something else, or it's an empty lot or something.
That story, if you will, or even one individual story it's changed over the years in the next legacy. So, this event, Thursday, August the 25th. Pick up 5:30 to 6:30. A dinner box for two is $100. Make a donation if you're unable to. If you can't be in town, just cut a check yesterday.
Yeah.
Somebody has attended every one of them. And Awanda, we love you, Awanda. She's not going to be in Roswell.
Oh, bummer.
Sent us a check, and it said, do what you want with it. We paid it forward to two very significant individuals that are helping, volunteering, and haven't been to one of these before.
How long is she out of town? I wonder if we could leave some leftovers in her fridge or something.
She deserves it because she has paid it forward and everyone and still enjoyed everyone. You're right. We should need to put a bag in the refrigerator and let her have it because she deserves it, because it's this evolution of food that keeps getting better and better. But the RSVP date is August the 8th. It is hard deadline. If for any reason you're challenged with the internet, the website, give us a call, 622-8333. We can walk you through it, which we have before, or we can make other arrangements.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, the Historical Society would take cold, hard cash.
We do.
And I'll even drive to the house and pick it up. Listen, you could literally call the museum and say, I don't want to mess with the internet. We could literally pick up the money and even deliver it to them, kind of thing. So we just want everybody to have fun with this and continue to pay it forward. Share it with your neighbors.
Yeah.
I think we're so busy, Mike. That's something that sounds fun, is taking a moment to share it with your neighbors when we're so busy we never get to see them.
Little last family sit down to get together before everyone goes their separate ways and busy and everything else. Yeah. And by the way, you're getting a delicious meal. This is something, and I'm going to read the menu real quick before we go. Okay. But you're getting a meal for two in each box. And first, you'll start off with your shrimp appetizer for two. And as Amy and I joke every time, they're monstrous shrimp. They're very delicious. Usually, you fight over who gets because this is the one thing he does that I think he does on purpose. He puts an odd number of shrimp in there. No, and there's, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And you're like, dude, it's for two. You got to give me an even number so we don't stop the fights. But I think he does that just for his own satisfaction,
I think so.
Kind of a pot stirrer. I like to do that too. But
by the way, Mike, we did confirm giving it is going to be jumbo shrimp cocktail.
Nice.
The Mongo.
Oh,
like
good
we did
one.
Before. That's a little bit
big
more
in your
specific.
head shrimp. Select them. Yeah. And then including that, you'll get a beef entree, which is a braised beef tips. Yummy, yummy. And then for you non-beef eaters, the chicken. Or you can fight however you want to, or split.
That's
Kim
right.
and I split.
Split it.
I eat half the chicken and she gets half the meat.
I think that's the right thing.
But the chicken is spinach and artichoke grilled chicken, so delicious. And then both meals will be served with red new mashed potatoes, a summer squash medley, of course, your rolls and butter, and then dessert.
And the dessert. Here you go. Are you ready for the dessert?
Oh, do we have an official? We know what it is now?
We have an official dessert.
Okay.
Chocolate chip bourbon monkey bread.
Ooh.
And see, I don't think we've done
This is
chocolate
new.
before.
Usually it's fruit based.
It is. So this is something new, and
Some
they're
people
really
like bourbon.
excited
Some people like
about it.
chocolate.
And that together,
Yeah.
and do a little monkey.
And monkey bread.
Yeah. See, so he just unveiled that, and I think that's exciting because somebody, and I am fruity. See, that might be on me. See, Mike, I'm not really chocolatey.
Oh.
So see, they're pulling in the chocolate now. So you chocolate lovers, that chocolate chip monkey bread, that bourbon monkey bread, that might be worth this whole thing.
I'm
just
down.
saying.
I'm completely
I would
down.
almost personally guarantee it.
I'll be completely down with that. I might have to. My wife doesn't like monkey bread. I'm just going to eat that for her. I have no idea, but that's what we're saying right now.
We're really excited about. And for those of you who've already bought your tickets and said, yeah, I've already helped Amy or whatever, don't forget to collect your loose change.
Yeah.
Somebody like Mike here might be helping run around and collect your loose change.
Yeah.
And we'd love to see that too, because again, every penny counts.
Every little bit
And at
helps.
the end of the day, we had a sweet individual that drove by. For whatever reason you can't afford to, give us a call about the loose change. That is still ongoing. Thank you for those individuals that are helping. And by the way, if you're listening and have a container that you need us to pick it up or anything, give us a call and we'll get that taken care of.
Absolutely.
That is helping us.
And then don't
penny.
forget too, if you would like a tour of the facility, we're doing tours by appointment.
Yes.
So basically, call us and say, if you got a group of friends you want to do something. That's kind of how we're doing it.
That's
So
right.
you just call us and we'll make a time and
And by
get
the
it set
way,
up.
Mike, yesterday we had a fourth grader come.
Good.
Shout out to Mackenzie and Brenda Gottlieb.
Nice.
They were getting there too, and she got her little blessing. It is not too late. If you were a fourth grader and you did not come to the museum, you can still get your gift.
Still cash in
which, by
on
the
that?
way, McDonald's is included in the blessing. Thank you to the Snowburger Foundation.
If you don't claim it, I'll take those tickets.
I
and
know
I'll
Mike's going to be trying to get it. I'm just saying.
trying to-
It's not too late to book your appointment and get your visit with your blessing if you got a fourth grade school tour.
Absolutely. But if you don't have fourth graders and still want the tour, please just call. We'll get an appointment. It's a better tour, actually, because you get a personalized tour and you and
for sure.
the group, and you get to,
Oh, my goodness.
it's all your questions that get answered and all that good stuff.
And they
So
love
it's-
that.
Yeah.
It's more custom, like you're
Yeah,
saying. It's
it's
customized to you.
Yeah.
So if you're more interested on that, we'll work in any way possible. And we might not know the answers. And Miss Jane and Fred and Melanie and all our amazing people, they may want to do some research and figure it out together.
I got to
'cause
be
that's a
honest.
challenge.
Some of them like being stumped. Like when you
They
had them with something
do.
that you don't know,
They
it gives them
do.
excuse to go digging.
For sure. We may need to make some calls and do some research. We would love to know that our archive committee has to get together
Yeah.
because a fourth grader got some questions together that we can't answer, and then we learn it all together. That's classic.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if I don't know, I'm not afraid to say I
Yeah.
don't know.
That's
and
why we have an
we'll learn it
archive facility and
together.
everything, so we go look it up. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. It
But-
could come out to be a Sunday fun day.
It could be.
Helping everybody to learn whatever that is.
Absolutely. And so please reach out. And of course, if you'd like to be a member, you can always
Yes.
sign up to be a member.
For
Go
sure.
to our website, roswellnmhistory.org. There you can get your tickets for the drive-through event here on the 25th. And of course, purchase books and
Purchase books. Oh, and in the event category, in the little events line, it's got some upcoming events. We'll be at, of course, a lot of stuff fun. A spooky event coming up in
Oh, cool.
October. So go to event section on our website to affirm some save the dates in the future. And if you have questions, give
Caps
us a call.
will be back on in
Yes, that's
November or
exciting.
September. I can't-
September. It's gonna be
September,
right
that's
around the
right.
corner.
That's September.
We'll be promoting that right away. And if you want to get involved with a CAPS event, I know we need volunteers and unique things. Give us a call if you need more information about that CAPS event. We'll be promoting that again. That's on our website. It gives you a lot of information.
Part of their living history thing they
For
do.
sure. It's exciting.
They've done it with us in the past, and
exciting.
it's a lot of fun. So, but we'll talk more about that
For sure.
later. But
It's exciting.
But of course, also while they're at the website, you can learn about becoming a member as yourself individually, or a couple, or a business, or
pay it
corporate
forward.
sponsor, or something. Any of that stuff. There's many different options, and that's a great way to support the historical
And if
society.
educators are listening right now, I would love, love, love to partner, whether it's elementary school, middle school, or high school, on history clubs.
Yeah,
School
definitely.
start, and let's get some of those going. Or if it needs to get going again, let's revive that and get some history clubs going.
Absolutely. So, I just saw the time.
Where does the time go? Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
for everybody listening, and thank you to 106.5.
Anytime. We
We
appreciate you guys, and we'll see you again next time.
Thank
here.
you so much.
Absolutely. Let's do this. It's 9:56. Let's get you into your Wall Street